What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again, and this is your match preview for Everton against Spurs. I'm dreading this game. I'm dreading it for a few reasons. One, we've beat Spurs both times we played them, and you would think we'd have that confidence going into that game, but being honest, I'm struggling a little bit to get confident for this. You know, we've picked up 2 points from the last 3 games. In my opinion, are winnable games for Everton. You know, Burnley, Palace, Brighton on Monday. You know, these are games that we can win, and we haven't. We've got a lot of injuries. It's just worrying. It's just worrying. We are going to be joined by TOBS in a moment. For Tapping TOBS, so make sure you go and subscribe to his channel. He's a top lad, honestly. You'll see him on the Big Six as well. I love him. He talks real football sense, and not everyone is on his level, to be fair to him. So it's always good to have him on the show. And he'll just be straight about Spurs. I think me and him are both going to struggle a little bit getting up for this game. So I'm going to bring him in. How are you, brother?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, man. But to be honest, mate, I really don't want this game of football. To be honest,
why not, man? You said this last time round as well. Why not?
Do you know what it is? It's just we are so shit at home, and Everton are not on a good run at the minute. We're not playing good football. We're not even scoring goals. And I know Spurs have had their issues of late as well. But Spurs are just a better side than Everton, and with our home form, I know we won at your place, and I know we got a win in the cup after extra time, etc. But we are really, really playing shit at the minute. And if you win, that gap between top 7 and Everton grows, and it shrinks between 9th and 10th, which is Leeds and Arsenal. So for Everton, genuinely, this is a must-win game. But I just don't think we're going to win.
I think you can and most likely will win. You know, like I've predicted a draw on the Big Six. I'm hoping we can get. To be honest, I'm hoping we can win, but you hope for the best with Spurs. You expect the worst. I know your form's not been great. I think it's like no win in your last 5.
Yeah,
correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, no win in your last 5. But let's be real. Like you had. In that run, you had Chelsea and City in 2 of them as well. I think the Burnley loss was a bit disappointing, though. I'm not gonna lie, the Burnley loss was a bit disappointing. And then I did watch the game on Monday. The fact that you literally went there with no ambition to even score, like Ancelotti put in 5 defenders. It was literally one-way traffic in the second half, but. Typical Brighton, they huff and puff. Like I knew they weren't going to score, but really and truly, you play like that against a side with their ball domination and their openings with better attacking players, and you lose that game. So I get the frustration, I get the worry, but listen, you are. Let me even check this table again. You are 8th with a game in hand. You win your game in hand, and you go 1 point behind Liverpool. You jump above us in the table. And the one thing that worries me, irrespective of the form that you're in, irrespective of your injuries, is that, one, Spurs are absolutely terrible right now. We are terrible. So whatever you think about Everton, we are worse at the moment. And this is why the whole having a better squad shit goes out the window. Because if it was down to how good our squad was, we'd beat Newcastle. We'd have beaten you at your ground when you had in the FA Cup, despite you having an injury hit team. We would have put up a better fight against Man United at home. We would have beaten Brighton away, etc., etc. But we would have not been knocked out 3-0 by Dinamo Zagreb. But we've not done any of these things because fundamentally we are in a rut. We have a bunch of shit players in our team who we have to rely on, and they let us down. We have a manager who is well past his best, a finished dinosaur that we have to rely on. There is no team chemistry right now. Some of our better players have been hit and miss in the last couple of months. Ndombele's form is dipped the last 2-3 months. Hobie's form is dipped the last 2-3 months. Reguilon, since he's come back from injury, his form has plummeted. So Son, he scored the other weekend, and even though his performances haven't been bad in 2021, but that was like his 2nd or 3rd league goal in 2021, and we're in April. So it's not a good time to be a Spurs fan, and for that reason only, I genuinely think you'll get a result on Friday. I believe that, because right now we are giving teams the confidence to go and do what they want to do, and I'm you can correct me if I'm wrong as well, but I could have sworn I read that Allen's going to be back for this game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin's going to be back for this game. So I think you can win. I think you can win. And you just have to take encouragement from when you've played us, man. You were the better side. You were by far and away the better side in the second half in the reverse fixture at home, and you were worthy winners. Okay, we should have I think on chances, we should have beaten you in the FA Cup, but we concede 5 goals. You put us away, so you've already beaten us twice. So what gives you, I guess you can explain it to me now, but what gives you the sense that you can't do this again? You've done it twice already this season. Why can't you do it 3 times?
It's just from an Everton perspective, it's just like, for example, it's quite scary actually how much you're saying about the team and the squad, and I could literally say exactly the same things about Everton. You know, their best players aren't turning up. We've had a few injuries. I mean, well, we've got a lot of injuries. You probably saw the bench against Brighton. There was one senior player in there. The rest were kids. You know, we are at bare bones. Yes, I think Allen is back. Yes, I think Calvert-Lewin's back. But my concern is Everton have won 5 out of 15 games at home this season.
Yeah.
And when you put it in perspective, who we've played, and so we've lost to Burnley, we've lost to Newcastle, we've drew with Palace, we've lost to West Ham, we've lost to Leeds. There's no real disrespect in losing to West Ham and Leeds, to be fair, but we've lost games that on paper you at least expect Everton to win, and that's no disrespect to those teams, but you would just say that.
I agree. But then flip it, and then look at the games that you've won though. You drew to Leicester, you drew to Liverpool. Fair enough, you lost to Man United, you lost to City. Yeah, it happens. But you beat Chelsea, you beat Arsenal. You've already beaten us in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
I don't know about the big games this season, but I think only out of all the traditional big 6 plus Leicester, Man City are the only one. Only the Manchester clubs have beaten you this season. Have I got that right?
Yeah, no, yeah, at home, yeah.
Even away, you lot beat Liverpool.
Yeah, even away. Yeah.
Beat us at White Hart Lane or the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So
I think
you beat Leicester at the King Power. Like,
I think from an Everton perspective, it's just disappointing that, as you say, we win all of those games. I mean, what's the point going to Leicester and winning, and then losing to Newcastle?
Yeah,
do you get what I mean? And it's been a similar season with you guys. Like you beat Man United 6-1 at their place, and then it sort of didn't kick on. And then at times I thought, oh, they have kicked on. And Spurs are a good footballing team. I remember me and you had a really good debate about defenders, but there's no doubt you've got a world-class striker up front, and you've got a world-class player in Son. And depending on what mood Bale is in, and we haven't seen a lot of it this season, but he has moments of brilliance. And then I just think your firepower will beat us. That's what I think will happen.
I hope you're right, I honestly hope you're right, and I do think on paper we should be going to this game and thinking, why can't we win? Why can't we dominate the ball? Because it's hard to say it, but take away the 5 goals we conceded, a host of comedy of errors. I'm not trying to take anything away from how well you lot played, despite the players that you had injured, but it was a comedy of errors for some of the goals we conceded. Giving away penalties, losing the ball in stupid situations. It was just bad. Great finishes from some of your players as well. Bernard, Richarlison, excellent finishes.
It was a game of the 2 bottlers, weren't it? Both teams bottled it at different times in that game.
But that game, offensively, we were so good. We had something like 29 attempts. Like, we absolutely peppered your goal. We created like 6 or 7 big chances. Like, I couldn't believe we lost that game. And then I looked at the goals we conceded. I looked at the goals we've conceded all season. And then I said, I can believe we lost that game, because we just can't be relied upon in these type of moments. And that's unfortunately what's holding me back from predicting that this team that's better than your team on paper is going to come to your ground and beat you. This team, they've not given me any confidence to believe that they can do that at this point in time. We know that if this game was played on Football Manager on FIFA, Spurs would win. But it's not. It's being played in real life. And in real life, these players are either not responding to the manager's instructions or are either not good enough. And the manager himself is not coaching us well enough to win these matches. So it's a recipe for disaster. And unfortunately, that painful time is going to continue, in my opinion, on Friday.
I was going to ask you about two things just to do with Spurs. Obviously, from a outside fan perspective, we don't know the stories, but two rumours have come out recently. Well, not a rumour. There was a live with Dele Alli. Yeah. Somebody asked him a question about, touch your hat or something if you want Mourinho out. Yeah, that was definitely deliberate, innit?
You think so? I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I feel like he's touched his hat, and as soon as he's touched his hat, someone's typed that. I didn't watch it in real time. I've not seen the video back, but I don't really read into stuff like that. But I know he doesn't want to be managed by Mourinho. Like it's so clear to see. But to be honest, he needs to be sold anyway. I love the player, but he needs to be sold anyway. So yeah, I don't know, man.
It's exactly what we lack, which is a ball carrying midfielder, someone who can score goals from midfield. We haven't got that.
Give us the money for him, you can have him. Give us 35 million for him, you can have him.
Is that it? Is that all you take for Dele Alli? 35 million?
35 million, yeah.
Fucking hell. I thought it'd be more than that.
The thing is, we could ask for more than that, but at this point in time, that's the issue. That's the problem in itself. We are in a period now where we just need to move some players on and use the funds to reinvest. And if we keep haggling over price, add 5 million more, 10 million more, it's going to be long. For me, I would much rather prefer that we make a proper plan to sell some of these players that aren't really adding much to our team at the moment. And unfortunately, as much as I love him, Dele is one of them. So 35 million, give us 35 million, we'll take that. Even 30 million, I reckon I'll take it for Ali. I know that he's scored 50 plus Premier League goals. I know that in a normal season, we could probably try and command more because of what he's done in the game. But his stock is so low right now. And we are in a position where we need cash to reinvest into this team. So I would rather that this club put more effort into selling these players than haggling over the odd 2, 3, 4 million. Like, just move them on and bring in some fresh, hungry blood.
No, fair enough. And the other rumour, which again is just a rumour as far as I am concerned, and you probably know what I'm going to ask. Apparently, Harry Kane wants to leave. Is that true?
He probably does. Like, I think he'd be me personally. I think he'd be a fool not to want out of this situation. Yeah, but it's unfortunately for him, it's not down to just what he wants. Come this summer, he'll have 3 years left in his deal, and we have a chairman who's been known to always get his way. Well, typically he gets his way for the high value players that we eventually move on. He gets his way. Kyle Walker, record-breaking bid for a fullback. Gareth Bale, world record transfer. I think the only instance where he's had to sort of eat humble pie and accept a lower fee was with Luka Modric many, many years ago, where Chelsea came in with a crazy 40 million bid. He turned it down, and he made a gentleman's agreement with Modric that if a non-UK team that wasn't Chelsea came in for you next season, you'll go. And Real Madrid came in with a lower bid. A lower bid. I think they bid like 5 6 million less, and they got it. So it's going to be difficult for Harry Kane to leave Spurs unless a team comes in and pays the money Daniel Levy wants. And I think Harry Kane will respect that because he's a professional. He will vent his frustrations to the club, and it's really and truly it's up to the club to. If I was Daniel Levy, instead of blocking Kane's pathway, I'm looking at this as okay, what can I do to keep you here? How can I make this club better for you? And that's the type of thinking we need. We need that thinking to try and get us back to where we were under Pochettino.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah. And I know, like we've spoken about Spurs, and I know there's obviously Champions League now, but I just wanted to ask about Everton as well, because I know you lot have had a lot of injuries this season and whatnot, but like some of the results that you've had, it's been so disappointing, because I really like, and it's annoying as well because I do this to myself. Sometimes I let Everton tell me that, and you're gonna say, yeah, I know, but sometimes I let myself I let myself believe that Everton aren't gonna do an Everton. Things are changing now. Like they've signed some. They've actually had they had a really good transfer window. They've got a proper manager who, by all accounts, he proved me wrong in terms of his appetite to take on such a task, because I actually think it's a huge task to change the culture at Everton and get you from the remove that soft underbelly you have and get you into crack you into the top four. I liken it to us long before Harry Redknapp and Martin Yeo, where we were literally drifting around mid-table mediocrity, etc. So it's weird. You've got the finances, you've got the manager, but some of those players in that team are just. And then sometimes I do think Don Carlo, I do think sometimes he needs to be more adventurous, man. Like,
wow,
he's a manager who used to play. His Chelsea teams were his Chelsea team that won the league in 09-10 were one of the best Chelsea teams in terms of the brand of football they played. So it confuses me when I see him set up so negatively at times with Everton. It's just not necessary.
Do you know what? You echo the voice of so many Evertonians. It's scary. Like what you've literally just said hit the nail on everyone's head. So I genuinely believe that if Everton's first 11 played, they challenge the top 6. I'm not saying we're finishing it. I'm just saying we challenge.
100%.
The rest of the team are horrendous. Like bottom 6 players. You know, you can't tell me Iwobi is a top 6 player. You can't tell me Bernardi's. There's a reason Sigurdsson was only good at Swansea. Yeah. I literally could go through a list of Everton players and say they're not top 6 players. And you said it before. I remember you saying, if you want to be a top 6, top 4 side, you go and get players who go and get into top 6, top 4 sides. Otherwise, what's the point? It's the ambition.
Yep, facts.
So Carlo's walked in and been dealt a really shit hand anyway, because the spending, the recruitment, the £500 million we blew before Carlo walked in under managers like Marco Silva, Sam. You know, we spent £30 million on Balassi.
30 million on Pickford as well. Eh? God, terrible.
Yeah, and this is what I mean. So this is what I mean. So I do feel for Carlo, and I blame the board for that. But that doesn't stop the fact that Carlo sets up in a lot of games really, really, really negative. His substitutions, in my opinion, have been wrong at times this season. Now, who am I to question Carlo Ancelotti, and who is anyone? But I'm allowed an opinion. And my opinion is that Carlo Ancelotti has cost us points this season, making dodgy substitutions, setting the team up in the wrong way. The game against Brighton, fair enough. He's only got one senior player on the bench, and he's got 2 goalkeepers, and he's fielded a player less. I get it. Like, he's clearly down to bare bones. But there's kids in that team that can just come on and have a lot more than 3 minutes against Brighton and just play with a little bit of no fear. Just go out there, get on the ball, see if you can compete, see if you can grab us a goal or an assist or something. He didn't risk it. And that's the bit that frustrates me with Carlo. He doesn't risk it. He sets up not to lose.
Yeah, it's weird because he was more adventurous in the home match against us, in our home, in that game against us. Against Liverpool, he had the ambition to go there and defend well, but attack when the situation permitted him to attack. So I don't get why, when he's playing up against sort of sides that, no disrespect, that are on either a similar or lower level to you, that he sets up defensive. But I do think the personnel is a big issue. Like, I agree with you. I won't be fooled by the first 11 because when you look beyond the first 11, there are a lot of terrible players. Tom Davies has played so much football this year, and he is one of the most painfully poor players that play in this league. He is so dead. He can't pass, he can't tackle, he can't dribble, he can't score. I think he's so poor. I think he's so poor. And then you got Iwobi's, you got your Bernards who flash in the pan, brilliance. It's just, I feel like there's still, Everton did some good work this season in the recruitment. You got Ben Godfrey, James Rodriguez, Decore, Allen. I think all 4 of them, excellent additions to your team. But I think there's more work to be done. And I do think
we need another 7. We need another 7 players at least.
Yeah, there's more work to be done. And I think I'm hoping, well, I say I'm not hoping actually, because I feel like the better you get, the worse news it is for us. But I would imagine that your board should be aware of this. They should be aware.
Yeah. I'm sure that Carlo knew what he was walking into, and I'm sure in somehow, because I don't quite understand how Everton have got around financial fair play for the last 5 years, but I'm sure he'll get some money to spend this summer and hopefully make us a bit stronger, because what it looks like to me with Everton is we've just run out of steam. You know, we did start really well. We had a bit of a blip, but we come good up until about February, and then we have absolutely fallen off a cliff. So, what's your score prediction?
I think it's going to end 1-1, man. I think it's going to end 1-1, but I wouldn't be surprised. And low key, also think that 2-1 to Everton is a strong possibility too. But I'm gonna have a little bit of optimism and say 1-1.
Fair enough. Well, I'm going 2-0 Spurs.
You don't think you're gonna score?
Mate, honestly, we don't even look like we can create a goal scoring opportunity, and people will say, oh yeah, Calvert-Lewin's back, Allen's back. Calvert-Lewin missed 2 1-on-1s against Palace and didn't look like he'd score in a month for Sundays.
His goals have definitely dried up the last couple of months. But listen, he bagged 2 against us, so
well, we're just gonna hope he keeps it up. But fucking hell, I mean, it's gonna. I'm telling you, I can't see it. But Tobes, thanks, man. It's been an absolute pleasure you coming on as always. I love you because you just talk football sense. Like you are just real. Like you look at it unobserved. You're straight laced. Not everyone's going to agree with you. Fair enough. But it's the thing is you love and watch as much football as you possibly can. And and that's because I think there's people on YouTube that literally just turn up, come on a show, don't do any research, don't do fuck all, and just sit here talking shit. Whereas you genuinely give a toss about the people you're working with. So I love you, mate. I really do respect you.
Thank you, man. Big up to yourself, man. I love what you're doing here as well. I seen some of the videos. Of your co-host as well. I remember I think I saw the one he did about Liverpool when you won 2-0, and he was going after Jurgen Klopp after Klopp said that comment he made about Everton or something like that. And
he went in.
He went in. But anyway, no, honestly, big up to yourself, and obviously I think I'm gonna love having you and one other guy, Stephen from the Everton newsfeed on my channel tomorrow, so that should be interesting anyway. But big up to yourself, man. I need to actually bounce now because I'm starving and I want to watch the Champions League.
Cool. I'm the same. Bruv, see you soon, guys. Cheers for watching. Stay safe, man.